What's up, guys? I'm about to break down some next level stuff for y'all today. We are going to be discussing how to run. Now, I just want to caveat by saying I am not an amazing runner by any means. I'm not a professional runner. In fact, I'm pretty slow and have been my whole entire life, one of the slower people that I know. But I'll tell you one thing for sure, guys. I move a lot better now than I ever have in my entire life by applying the mechanics that I'm about to share with you. So, I ask you guys, what do you think about when you think about running? Here's what I think about. So notice how a lot of the times what we do in the gym is both feet planted on the ground, whether you're lifting, curling, benching, just recognize that. And then realize that a lot of what we do outside of life is moving through space, which entails lifting one foot off the floor to do so. So just notice what happens if you try to keep the normal neutral spine posture that you do when you're working out if you lift one foot off the ground. Boom. What happened? My head has to now balance over my foot to stay balanced. So this head over foot mechanic becomes an attribute of functional locomotive principles that we can start to apply when we think about moving. Head over foot, head over foot, head over foot, right? It's there even if you're not noticing it. So start to pay attention. Another thing you can think about is a big word, contralateral reciprocation. All that means, guys, is left hand, right foot, right hand, left foot. And again, look around the world, you'll see it everywhere. This is how we locomote through space. The reasoning for this is comes down to the spiral fascial nature of our muscle tissue that connects our left leg to our right arm and our right leg to our left side. And that's what creates the sling that powers locomotion. So when you have that slight side bending and the contralateral reciprocation that creates the rotational relationship between your shoulder blade and your hip, you get an effect that the Weck method people call coiling core. And the theory is that this is where a lot of your athletic potential comes from. So you should be paying attention to that spiraling rotation of your core in relation to your hips when you're moving, because that's part of what transfers force from your upper body to your lower body, enabling you to create speed, essentially. Another thing you can think about, so we got the head over foot, we got the contralateral reciprocation, we have the rotational relationship between our torso and our hip. We also have what our arms are doing. So this little maneuver is called the wind and whip. If you bring both hands to face towards your face and spiral your fingers, if I'm saying this right, they will be fully pronated. And then if you flick them behind like you're flinging water off your hands, they will be fully supinated. So if you do one and then the other, this is somewhat of the way that you should think about your arms moving when you're running, right? In addition to the opposite foot and opposite hand. And now another thing you can consider, and this is all like Weck method stuff, guys, so all praise and credit to them, I didn't come up with any of this, is to have both hands crossing over at the same time as the head lands directly with the foot hitting the ground, so that you send a pulse of force through the floor and get that full fascial force transmission through the ground to launch yourself forward through space. So these are just some of the things that I pay attention to when I run, and I think if you bring a little bit more consideration to, might change the entire way that you relate to gravity, right? I'll give you guys another secret. There is a part of your foot that you want to be placing most of your weight on. It's about right there. The outer, as the Weck method people call it, green dots, or as we say in velocity training, pad number 1. It's right there. It's on the outer balls of your feet. And if you think of keeping a great cue that the 𝗙𝗏𝗚 people use is inside ankle bone high, you'll find that you naturally find your weight balanced on that green dot. And you'll feel how you're a little bit more springy, a little bit more bouncy. Now, if you're wearing traditional shoes like Nikes, this could be really hard to find. So look for it with your bare feet, and really maybe consider not running in Nikes, because it's going to lead towards a disposition of heel striking, which is not the way that you want to be relating to the ground for what I understand. So that's a little bit about what you should be thinking about when you run, and some of the nerd stuff that Weck method loves to lace us with. So hope you guys got something out of that, and if you know somebody who needs to learn how to run, tag them below.